State University of New York at Downstate Medical Center is your center for healthcare excellence. Housed in an urban setting in Brooklyn, New York, Downstate is one of 64 campuses in the State University system and the only medical school in Brooklyn. More New York City doctors graduate from Downstate than from any other medical school in the country. Health Center is sponsored by SUNY Downstate and delivers up-to-date information in healthcare and community outreach programming. Its university hospital is known for its centers of excellence, quality patient care, cutting-edge education, as a major scientific research center, and for its emergency room, which is open 24 hours. SUNY Downstate's educational programming includes our School of Graduate Studies, which has trained some of the world's best scientists and teachers, including Dr. Robert Furchgott, winner of the 1998 Nobel Prize in Medicine. Also included are the College of Health-Related Professions, the College of Nursing, and our nationally recognized School of Public Health. With so much to offer, there's no better place you can depend on. Downstate.
Live from the Health Center at SUNY Downstate, this is Star for Brooklyn.
Welcome back, everyone. So great to be with you again, and Tanya, great to be sitting with you here again. And it's crazy how time has flown. Like it feels like we just started doing this, and now we're we're just in the mix. Like this is like our, I don't know, like what number show we are at.
Yes, exactly.
It feels like we've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So Tanya, real quick. Being healthy, right? So we've been speaking about that since we've been doing the show. How is that going for you?
I'm glad you asked, because I have really, since we started the show, really been focusing on my health and trying to make changes, my lifestyle, etc. I had a little problem with my knee, some inflammation, which I'm really happy to report. Today I feel really good.
That's
I was
great.
Proactive. I went to doctors, x-rays, MRIs, blah, blah, blah. I changed my diet.
No surgery, nothing crazy like that,
No
right?
surgery, taking some vitamins, some turmeric. I'm going to my physical therapist, and
Perfect.
I feel better. And, the bottom line is I was in this pickle because I was not taking care of myself. I was sitting down all day. I was not exercising. And so I am committed to being healthy for me.
That's great. The only thing I could say is, so I think I told you before that the way to be healthier, right, was I was going to try to be more active, and I was going to use my son as the conduit because he's got a lot of energy. And I got to tell you, I'm having trouble keeping up. But we're actually, so what we do is we go to the park every day, and he loves to scooter, right? So he gets on his scooter and he goes.
Do you have a scooter?
I don't have a scooter, so what I do is I run behind him.
Oh, good.
So I'm running behind him, and it's not, look, I'm not running miles, but I'm doing something, and so I run to the park with him, and he stays at the park, and I'll just, play with him there, but then I'll run back home. So, look, the little things, right? It's not about, getting ready to go to the Olympics, but just like as you said, just being healthier overall. So I'm doing that, but he's testing my stamina, I will say.
Yes. Look, I want to share with you, something also that really helps me in terms of be healthy for me is that I have my guilty pleasures.
Uh-oh. Is this rated M for mature?
No, it's totally good.
Okay.
I don't know what to do now that Game of Thrones is over. So what are you going to watch after Game of Thrones? What do I do?
I know. I was thinking about that.
Suggestions.
I might actually have to watch baseball, and that's just awful to have to sit there and, look at baseball for over 3 hours straight in the summer. But I will say this, there's so much content everywhere now. I don't think there's another Game of Thrones out there, right on the horizon. But, I think that, for instance, on HBO, some of the shows that they've had are they got a new show coming out called Dark Material. So maybe I'll check that out. Apparently that's also based on fantasy and stuff like that.
And I know our viewers are probably what does this have to do with being healthy for you? For me, doing stuff that also helps me to reduce my stress, something that's good for me, that's for me every week, helps me with my health and well-being, my mental health and well-being. So That's why I bring it up. So,
It's important to lose yourself every once in a while, in
Absolutely,
a good way.
in a good
getting
way.
engrossed in a story or something like that.
yes. So we have amazing guests. Our first guest, I actually used to share an office space with this guest. He's amazing. His name is Alberto Mendina, and he is the program supervisor for Navigate Brooklyn, but that's not spelled the way you think it's spelled. It's spelled Navi, big old GAYTE, Navigate Brooklyn. And he's going to come and talk about patient navigation here in Brooklyn.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Let's welcome Alberto
Let's
back.
welcome Alberto. Yay!
Hi.
Alberto, great to see you again.
So great to see you again. I miss you at the coffee station. Yes, we were
Yeah.
coffee fans together.
We had a really good conversation.
Yes, we did. Mostly due to you. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me here. This great show. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well,
with you
we
guys.
are happy for you to be here because you are doing an incredible program. We need to learn more about this. Please tell us about the Navigate Brooklyn program and what it is and what you guys are doing.
Okay, Navigate Brooklyn program. It's our prevention services for HIV. We are focused on men who has men of color and Latino community. Navigate Brooklyn basically engage people to get enrolled on PrEP or for those folk who are out of care for HIV.
Yes.
So we link them with all the organizations that we work with, right?
Uh-huh.
So Navigate Brooklyn also do street outreach and online outreach. So we go to the park areas that people used to do, like cruising areas that we call, and we go over there with our blue t-shirt who say PrEP specialist, and do you have any questions about PrEP, and they can reach out to us to ask about PrEP or PrEP services. In online outreach, we used to work with hookup sites, that it's those hookup sites that people going to engage for meet people.
These
or
are
having
these are
sex.
online.
That is
sites.
online
Mhm.
sites, yes. So we have our own profiles with all the information about our program. So we reach out people if they want to get enrolled in PrEP or HIV care.
Excellent.
Alberto, we were talking a little bit about this before we came on air, and you were saying how, being healthy, it's not just like a physical thing, right? It has a lot to
Yes.
do with your mindset. And if you could speak a
Exactly.
little bit about that, especially with the population that you work with.
Yeah, being healthy is not only have like a body healthy, right? Your body has to be healthy also, but your mentally you have to be healthy also. I'm gonna talk about me as a Latino, as a part of the Latino community. Sometimes we as a Latino think that going to therapies or counseling services, it's like we are crazy. So we are like acting crazy. We don't have to go
Stigma.
over there.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not like that. Sometimes we have some issues that we can't now deal with, and we need some professional, for professional guidelines that they can help us to go. So being healthy is not only your body or your health about your body; it's being mentally healthy.
And that's what your program helps to do, to
Yes.
link people with those type of
Yes.
services and to help them understand that, like you said, if they need extra help, it doesn't mean that they're damaged, right?
Yes. Our program do an screening, so we going through different kind of concepts like housing services, how is the housing, how is their health life, how is the sexual risks that they have, and also the mental risks that they have. They may be depressed for so long and they never got that help. So if they are agreed, we can refer those folks to mental health services. So we work really close here with SUNY Downstate Medical Center, and we refer, our clients to, be screened and see what's going on, and they start from there.
So I have a question. You mentioned sort of the stigma about mental health.
Yes.
And navigation programs are basically designed to help address barriers in terms
Yes.
of linking people to care, getting the information. I'm wondering, could you talk a little bit more about some common barriers that this particular patient population is facing in terms of, I could throw some snowballs at you, but I want to let you
Yeah.
tell us in terms of what do you think are the biggest barriers with men who have sex with men who are at risk or HIV positive?
I mean, one of the biggest barriers could be like stigma, I'd say, for us as a Latinos, and also we work with some folks that they don't have insurance, right? And that is the huge barrier that they have to get those services. But here at SUNY Downstate, I know that when we refer some patients for getting on PrEP or PrEP services, they are allowed to go through mental health services also for free, so they don't have to pay anything. So that barrier for, at least for those folks who lives here close to SUNY Downstate, it's
Your program, if I understand it correctly, right? You're out there, right? So you
Yeah.
are like
You're
in
in
the
the
trenches.
streets.
You're in the parks.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about those experiences, like what you've come up against and how you've been trying to problem solve with, the people that you've met in these situations and them being at risk, like in the park, maybe cruising, or I think you mentioned it before, like even going to sex parties, trying to educate, trying to engage. Speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, or our street outreach is going to the park, and also we go to sex parties to offer our services. So for those people who they don't know about PrEP, or what means PrEP or PAP, or maybe they are HIV positive, they are out of care. So we go over there to sex parties, to the park, and also we go to the bars and offer our services. And
So how does that go, by the way? Do people accept you, or are they like, hey, man, I'm trying to have a good time here, like, don't bother me with that?
Like, how does it?
Actually, they are very open to talk. I mean,
Okay.
we don't go straight to talk with them. You always go over there with our T-shirt that say "Specialist in PrEP and PEP. Do you have any questions?" Usually, they
Oh, cool.
approach us to ask about PrEP or PEP, and if they don't have time, we give them our business card, so they call us after. So we set up an appointment to talk about our services, or by phone call, by text message, we offer our services, and they get the knowledge about what is the requirement to be part. That some of the requirements is that they have to live here in New York, so they have to have proof of address, and it doesn't matter any legal status if they have or not. It doesn't matter for us. It matters for us that they want to get those services and they want to prevent any kind of infection like STIs or HIV, right? And also we offer like condom use, so we explain into them how to use the condom, because it's funny because some folks think that they know how to use the condoms, but they are using the condoms in the wrong way.
And
So-
are they using products that are not
Yes.
good with condoms in
Yes.
terms of that make the condoms less
Yes.
effective?
Yes. So when we are talking about PrEP and PEP, we also talk about condom use, because PrEP and PEP prevent you in 96% against HIV, but not for STIs. So
Yeah.
you're still open to get like syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, HPV.
And there's a real rise
Yes.
in these STIs. People don't know in New York there's
Yes.
a real rise in the STIs that you just mentioned.
Yes.
Sorry, STIs, sexually transmitted infections.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. So that's why we keep tracking in also condom use. We want the people know why they have to still using condoms. And it's different type of condoms, right? So because some people say, I don't like to use condom because it's too tight. I say, well, maybe you're using the wrong side. So it's different kind of condoms that you can be worked with.
Yeah. So, we are deeply concerned about this population as well. Do you have any suggestions in terms of how we could be a part of the solution in terms of trying to help folks find care, find prevention?
Yeah, I mean, as a Navigate Brooklyn, we are in the parks, or we are in the streets walking. So they will see us with our T-shirt, or also they can reach me out by my cell phone number. I don't know if I can say my cell phone number.
Yes, actually, that was my final question. We're going to have you come back
Okay.
so you can wear your
But, you know,
T-shirt.
so, yeah,
but-
and I'm sorry, Tony, I just wanted to jump in because, our hashtag here is Be Healthy for You, right? Star for Brooklyn, Be Healthy for You.
Yeah.
So part of being healthy for, our viewers could be identifying you. So what does your T-shirt look like? Like, maybe it's really easy to kind of point you out, but like, can you
What color
describe
is
it?
it?
Yeah, can you describe it a little
Yeah,
bit?
it's a blue color, and they say PrEP specialist. And
Right.
in the back say any questions about PrEP, and the Canvas logo. I work for Canvas.
Okay,
So-
so look for the blue T-shirt saying Prep Specialist. And how else can we find you?
Yeah, through my cell phone number or
Okay.
social media.
And social media is at Navigate Brooklyn, correct?
Yes.
NAVIGAYTE Brooklyn.
No, it's N.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
Tanya.
Brooklyn.
Tanya.
Oh, crap.
Always getting ahead of yourself. No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Give it to us.
Yeah, our
Alberto.
social media, you can find us in Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. It's Navigate Brooklyn. It's NAVGAYTE BRKLYN.
Got it.
Got it.
That is our, you can find us in Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also you can call me and send me a text message to my cell phone number that is 929-271-4281.
Great.
Excellent.
Alberto, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
Thank you so much, guys, for
Program.
inviting me.
Come back.
You're
It was really a
awesome.
pleasure
Oh,
seeing
did I
you.
say this?
Oh yes, we need to set up again our coffee club.
Same,
Yes, I miss
All
you
right.
guys. So
I
thank you so much.
Thank you, Alberto.
Adios.
Okay, bye.
Hi, I'm Chrissy.
My name is Phil. My name's Dylan. I'm a college student. I have a busy lifestyle where I'm at school every day.
We all have busy lives, so it's very important that you take a moment for yourself. Give yourself that me time. When you realize that you're giving yourself that me time, you notice how much more your life is in balance and it flows a lot better.
I'm a graduate student and I spend about 60 hours a week on my education. In order to maintain mental and physical health, I spend a lot of time at the gym. Every day, about an hour a day, I'm in the gym, I'm lifting weights and putting weights back down and lifting them again.
I use running as a form of exercise to help maintain my stress levels.
You do things like rushed or just because someone wants you to, you notice that your body isn't in agreement with that. So that's why meditating is very important. You take those anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes to just align yourself, just to be one with yourself and sit quiet in the moment, and you will see how that plays a great part on your health.
I also maintain sexual health consciousness as well. So every 3 to 6 months, I get checked. I get a full spectrum STI, STD check, and I make sure that I take my PrEP, and I also make sure that I stay in mostly monogamish relationships.
I incorporate it into my daily regime, just like I do with PrEP.
Checking your status is very important. I get my status checked once a year. I am healthy for me.
I'm healthy for me.
Be healthy for you.
Be healthy for you.
Be healthy for you.
Welcome back. Our next segment is really important. I'm going to introduce her. Our next segment is Dr. Jenny Park, who is a pharmacist, a licensed pharmacist in the STAR program, and she's going to talk to us today about smoking cessation. Let's welcome Dr. Park.
Jenny,
Hey.
nice to have you here. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
This is so important.
So Jenny, yeah, if you could get right into it, smoking cessation. Tell our viewers a little bit about that. What does that really mean, right? I think a lot of people see it maybe on billboards and posters or have heard about it, but what is smoking cessation?
Yeah, it's a pretty fancy term, smoking cessation, but essentially, I mean, it's when somebody wants to stop smoking, it's the process of, assessing the patient, assessing your loved ones in terms of how do we get to our end goal of not smoking cigarettes, or maybe even decreasing the amount of cigarettes that one may be smoking on a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, we all know smoking is really bad for you, and it can be something that can cause a lot of health implications. So we really want to minimize those health implications, and by doing that is just smoking. But it's a lot harder than one would think.
It's funny you saying that. I had a conversation with a physician a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, smoking is literally like one of the worst things you could do overall, like on this earth, like for the human body. So that's basically what you're saying, right? That so many things are connected to it. It's not just lung cancer.
Right. I mean, it's one of the most leading preventable death-related complications. So if you can stop smoking, that would be a better outcome for your life.
Yeah. I think, our audience would like to know, like in terms of like smoking in not only with cancer, but it messes up what other sort of conditions that
I mean, just cancer, your overall like heart
health
implications, your vascular implications in terms of like blood flow. It can definitely, I guess
It's got a higher
worsen.
risk for blood clots, right?
Right. Yes.
At least I think that's what I read. But
Yeah.
And also probably pretty simply, right? Dental, right? Like just like smoking, like that probably
The dental
doesn't have a
issues
good-
that are
yeah.
related with it. Yes, I mean there's a lot of different health implications, and it can vary from person to person on what each person might get versus another person might get. So it's all very different person to person. So, yeah.
But you know, in that being said, right? So people still have difficulty quitting, right? Or they feel like maybe they just can't let it go. You know, I've had patients come up to me, you know, since I'm a counselor, and they say, you know, I want to maybe not quit right away. Maybe I could cut it down from half a pack or a pack a day to maybe 2 or 3 cigarettes or whatever. Is that even possible? Can you do that? Because I hear nicotine is so addictive, you know? Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, with smoking cessation, again, it's a whole process. It's not just one day you stop smoking and then you cut it down to half a pack. It's really, you need a good support system. So it's a long, drawn-out process that's a lot more complicated than people actually think it is. So really, there's adjunctive agents that you can use on top of counseling and support groups to
What
really
are
help.
adjunctive
I'm
agents?
sorry. So there's a lot of other medications that you can take, such as the nicotine lozenge, the nicotine patch. So really, I mean, because you're smoking, you're taking in a lot of nicotine, your body's become dependent on it. So if you're gonna essentially quit smoking and decrease the number of cigarettes that you smoke per day, you want to also kind of supplement your body with the nicotine that you might not take from the cigarettes. So a lot of these agents will either help reduce, I guess help replace the nicotine that's missing, or they'll help block those nicotine, I guess, pathways in your body.
So your body's not calling for it as more, right?
Right.
You don't have that
You're not
strong
having that
urge.
Exactly.
You know, it's there, but it's not like, oh my goodness, I need that cigarette like right now.
Right. So a lot of the different agents that are available to help with these nicotine cravings, essentially, it depends on the patient and what you might want and what works best for you. And depending on when is your first cigarette, is it right when you wake up in the morning, or is it before you go to bed? So depending on your smoking habits, there's a lot of different options that are available for you.
In addition to the medication, are there other things that people should be doing to help support them to address these cravings, etc.?
Yes, I mean, again, so I'll go into what we call the 5 A's of smoking cessation. So it's essentially ask, advise, assess, assist, and arrange. Yes, thank you. There's a lot of A's. Very good.
We talked about it a little bit off camera. That's the only reason I know. That's the only reason I know. I never heard of this before. But anyway,
So the
please
5
go on.
A's.
So the 5 A's.
Walk us through the process.
Right, so the 5 A's, really, the first is ask. It all starts with asking a question. Hey, do you smoke? But then really, now that we've talked about this briefly off camera in terms of whether or not the older population versus the younger population who's now smoking these Juuls. So you want to take into consideration the different various types of nicotine that that your loved ones might be using. And just starting off with that question, hey, do you smoke? And then ask, advise. Advise is really coming up with this sort of list in terms of, what might you benefit from stopping smoking? Just getting them
How
to
would it
start.
help you,
Yeah.
right?
Would you save money? Do you have any other like health issues like asthma? Like, do you think smoking makes your asthma worse? Just
So
coming up.
getting more specific, right? Like, I mean, it's obvious smoking is bad, but trying to get more specific from the patient's point of view, like what could you gain if you were able to stop
Exactly. And then once we're on the same page, and you know your loved ones is able to list those benefits themselves, and get the ball rolling, and things are turning in their heads in terms of, maybe I can stop smoking. Maybe it might be like a good idea.
So these when you're at the advise point, you're trying to really have individuals find their own motivation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so they're coming up, whether it's financial or whether it's I have COPD or I have asthma.
Or even a nagging spouse. Any type of motivation. No,
Yes,
really, right? Like
type-
any
yeah,
type
right,
of
right.
motivation.
Yeah.
Or your child. Like
Yeah.
I'm responsible for my mother stopping because I would put her cigarettes in the toilet every day.
Wow, that's bold.
That is bold.
You know,
I did.
You never know how that could turn out.
Exactly, but I did.
Right. So then once we've listed these motivational factors, we want to assess essentially, are you actually ready to stop smoking? Like, when will you be ready? Do you think you'll ever be ready? So, you can't just jump right into stopping smoking. You have to actually
Figure out where they are.
And so, like, for me as a counselor, I would want to be involved with those 5As, right? Like I would want to make sure, since if I made the referral and I'm sending my patient, to the provider, that I'm not just like, okay, it's the provider's job now, like I'm not checking in. It's like, and it's not that I have to be very in depth, but I do have to kind of follow up, say, so how are you doing, with the nicotine patch or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a phone call helps here and there in terms of, oh, how's it going? Have you smoked yet? What are some of the barriers this week that might have caused you to smoke the extra cigarette, or that might have set you back? So just the follow-up questions and really just showing that sort of empathy for the patients and helping them move along with the process.
And I use myself as an example, but it could be family members too, right?
Right,
Obviously.
yeah.
So it could be anyone who's involved.
It could be anybody.
So the patient should get like kind of a little bit of a team behind them. When they're gonna do this.
Some sort of social support.
Right.
I want to ask about so there are a number of different programs. What if they start at I'm sorry, what's the last A? The last is range.
Range.
So what if they start with one program and it doesn't quite work, and then you check in with them and they're just like, this isn't working for me, can I try something else? Like, is there flexibility at that to be able to try other programs?
Yeah, I mean, generally most patients are on the same program. It depends on also what medication that they're on. You might want to switch to a different medication that might be better for them. So again, just assessing again. But there are patients that I've dealt with that completely just cannot commit to taking a medication or quitting their smoking. So, we can always assess again in terms of, do you want to restart again from the beginning at a different time? So that's always an option, because it's a very hard process.
It's fluid.
Yeah.
It's not like with steps where it's going to be A, B, C, D. It could go either way, and so you just got to kind of work with the person,
Right. You can go back in reverse, you can drive forward a little, maybe go off to a different road.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's completely fine.
So this is such a really important topic. I was going to say that we should have you back to be able to talk more about this.
And before we go, we want to mention for our viewers to look at the screen. So 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Can you just really quickly mention what that's? I mean, obviously it probably has to do with quitting, but if you could go in depth a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's a free service that the CDC actually provides. You could just call the number 1-800-QUIT-NOW. They'll set you up with a text message. Or telephone phone calls. So they'll give you like a plan essentially on top of whatever plan that you're already on, just for the daily text reminders, and have someone actively follow up.
That's actually using those alerts for a good cause.
Yeah.
Usually you just get it. It's like, I don't know, something silly there, but this is actually, it'll say, hey, you know what, did you follow up with this, or are you doing this?
Yeah, no, it's a really good program, and it's free, so definitely utilize it.
Dr. Park, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please come back.
It's very hard to stop smoking, and the use of these medications to help people get there is really important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Wow, Tanya, another amazing show. And I know we say that all the time, but it really was.
It was important.
Really important, and not only that, like to meet all the different people and doing all these different important jobs. You know? So like, today with, Alberto Medina, because the producer back there says I don't say it the Spanish way. So, but with Alberto, it was really cool just knowing what he does. I mean, he's there in the trenches.
Remember,
guys,
the park.
Look for the blue shirt. Whether it's the park, the bars, even a party. If you have a question, speak with him. And he's all about breaking down barriers, breaking down stigmas, and educating the people here in Central Brooklyn. So that was just great.
And Dr. Park, it's so, people don't realize, like, smoking is extremely addictive.
It is.
And people need to understand that there are medications and programs to help people. Like, more than any other addiction, I think smoking is the worst. And
I was just going to say that's such the important part too, that it's not an individual thing. If anyone is smoking, they will get that addiction to it, that urge, because it's that strong. It's not the person, it's not you, it's the substance.
Absolutely. But to know that there's a medication or medications that could help you get there to smoking cessation, I think is really important.
No, very important.
All right.
So how are you going to stay healthy, Tanya?
I am going to go to the gym. I'm going to do my Bikram hot yoga sweat.
Don't forget your physical therapy. Keep up with that, right?
I know.
You're going to stay up?
I'm going this afternoon.
Okay. So just remember, guys, #Be Healthy For You, Star for Brooklyn, #Be Healthy For You.
Be healthy for you.
Just be active. Just get up. Just do something.
Chase after your boy.
Oh, man. Yes, I will. I will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon.